All right.
The I-4s and BBs.
Hi, GITV. Bob the X-Men Hildebrand here with two gentlemen from G&G for a live show on July 28th, 2015. Now, gentlemen, why don't you introduce yourselves?
Hi guys, I'm Josh. Used to be here and now over there.
And now we've got...
I am Eric. Likewise, I used to work for GI, now G&G.
All right. God bless America. Okay, so now you guys have, obviously, you brought in some new products, including a new addition to your combat machine line. Why don't you guys tell us about that right off the bat?
Yeah, so new for this year, and we actually just got them ahead of schedule today, which is super cool. This is the combat machine SRs. So unlike the combat machines everybody knows, they're a bit more updated. They've got a Keymod Rail on them now. Oh, it's making room for Mark. We're making room for you?
No.
Oh, come on. Come on, you can sit on my
Okay,
lap.
good.
Anyway, they've got a Keymod Rail. They come with they've got a Keymod Rail. They've got a brand new receiver. It's got that. It's all textured. It's all fancy. It's like a lot of the new firearms billet receivers. Still has the same cool combat machine logos, but like engraved now. But as you can see, it's a lot more stylized. The Selector is stylized. It's already got an ergonomic pistol grip on it. It's got enhanced trigger guard. It's got everything that you're looking for aftermarket generally out of the box. So this is something we've been really excited for, because especially me working the sales floor at GI here for so many years, we sold so many combat machines, and they're rock solid guns. We get guys come back 3 to 5 years later, and they're saying the guns are still great. They still runs just fine. We don't need to tune it. We don't need to clean it. It's nothing. It's a great gun. So this continues that. And the only things that have changed internally is we put an electronic trigger in it, which Eric will talk about in a little bit. And on the externals, of course, everything's updated. And then moving to the back, we've got our new stock, which is the GOS V3. These are going to be available separately, and this is probably one of the nicest stocks on a stock gun that rivals stocks like Crytek stock, KDB stock, stuff like that. Because you push this here, and this will actually swivel. If I can get it. There we go. This actually swivels, so all your stuff's in there. I actually have a battery in there right now. You can see it fits there, plenty of space for the wires. And then all you do is make sure your wires are clear, pin it back, closes. It's a lot like some of the other American-made stocks, which I will name nameless. Battery storage. It's got a friction lock, which is kind of like the cool thing now. But yeah.
I actually just want to talk about, some of the parts, pieces of the puzzle in this. For me, I'm probably most happy about the stock, just because, I do like stocks that have a lot of room for batteries, or at least like a variety of batteries. And one of the problems I've had with stocks over the years is getting into and out of the battery compartment on the field when, I have batteries run out. So the fact that you guys designed that so it's easy to get in and get out and carry a wider variety of batteries is really nice. Obviously, the friction stock is nice, and for people who like to run accessories like myself, I'm sure you guys have encountered this before, but you put your gun in a gun bag, and sometime like in the shipping process or when you're moving it around to your game, something hits the pressure pad, and then you get to the game and you're out of batteries.
Right.
So for me, as far as like that issue, it's nice to have a battery compartment. Always keep that loaded up with batteries, so when you get to the field, you're not stuck with your pants around your ankles, so to speak.
Especially for us that are playing so often, you get your tack lights, whatever, in middle of the game. Oh, okay, I guess it hit 90 hours. That's that.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. Like right when you need it, the tack light just either dies or is already out of juice. That is so frustrating. So it's nice to have that battery compartment, and obviously Keymod is obviously in vogue right now. So that's pretty cool. These come stock with it. And from what I know, this is the 12-inch version, correct?
Correct.
And you guys have, I believe, a 7 and a 9-inch version as well.
Yeah, so we actually have the 7 right here.
Right here.
All right, why don't we bring that guy on?
I do have them.
And yeah, so the 7-inch, just like you said, it's shorter. It's shorter.
Good talk.
And then that's actually the 12-inch version, and then we have a 9-inch, which is like laying over there somewhere, which we won't bother getting, but it's like another 2 inches long. So you have your your SRS, SRL, and SRXL. 7, obviously popular for a lot of us guys in SoCal, like through Tac City, real close stuff like that. 9-inch is nice, of course, because you have a mid-length, so it's a lot like the you got the Mark 18s and stuff like that, 9.5-inch rail. And then for those of us who like to do the straight arm shooting, the 12 is probably the nicest one for me, long arms.
One thing that actually was yet to be mentioned is the fact that these orange flash hiders actually have threading to accept aftermarket G&G barrel extensions, correct?
Yeah, so that's another thing that we were really excited about. Even when I was here, or GI rather, and we started selling the CM18 Mod 1s, they started coming with these flash hiders. And at first we were like, that's cool because it looks like a breakout, or it looks like some of the nicer cutie flash hiders out there. But it was one of those things. I was like, okay, what's this good for? And for a while, we didn't see the drop-on barrel extensions. Now it's cool because we can talk to guys and be like, hey, so you don't want to void your warranty. You don't want to worry about this and that. You don't want to worry have to buy a flash hider and a suppressor separately. So instead, you get one of these that already has it on it, and then our barrel extension is like 30, 40 bucks maybe. So the same as the black side from Gemtech or whatever other brands. Screws right on. Doesn't damage anything, warranty still intact, and you get the cool look, hides the orange, all the above.
I'm honestly, I'm a big fan of like not having to buy extra stuff after the fact. So
Yeah.
for me being a cheapskate, I think that's awesome. So very well played for you guys. And actually, I didn't say it earlier, but I do really like the aggressive design of the receiver. Definitely, like you said, it does look like some of the more innovative built receivers on the firearms market.
Yeah.
It gives the gun an overall aggressive look, and I really like how it meets up with the Keymod Rail right there. It gives it a more flush appearance, and obviously you have the monolithic upper rail for all those different optics you want to put on there. So
and it doesn't look like we just dropped it on either. They went out of the way to make sure it's flush design, so it's actually beveled up like the Mega Arms billets that you'll see now in the firearms industry. And it's got a cool charging handle.
Yeah, that was
double ears on it. Not that it does anything, but it's cool.
Yeah, no, it definitely, again, it goes to that overall much more aggressive look for, an entry or mid-level gun. And I believe the 12-inch version, which is this guy, this is supposed to be going for $245.
Yes.
Yeah, then the 9-inch version is $230, and then the SRS version, which is the 7-inch, I don't know why my voice almost cracked, is $215. So definitely give you a price range for exactly what you're looking for to fit your Airsoft armory.
And we still have the Comp Machine Raiders, so that's gonna fit our 150 range and stuff like that. We know where Crytek's sitting around 300, 320 or whatever. And there's nothing, at least when I was here, a lot of times guys were like, okay, 250 at most. And we'd be, okay, well, the Metal Raiders, which the Metal Raiders are cool. They're full metal bodies. They're, magnesium bodies, so they're good quality. They've got the same rock solid internals and whatnot. But we didn't have anything that was radically different. So if you wanted something that was like crazy different, something that was really cool, like that extra cool factor for that money, it was like, okay, here's metal. Which is good, which is great, but our polymer is good enough. I mean, we at the store, if we had one that someone bring in, we'd be like, you could throw it across the room, and we've, I'm sure we had people throw them across the room, just be like, oh, okay, and they were fine. We've seen guys trash them on the field. So for the next bump up in price, now you're talking only a little bit more than a Mod 1. You're talking just 30, 40 bucks extra, and you've got a whole new setup, modern look, different crane stock, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Just to add, there will be Aerosoft Keymod panels that will be available for these. They're kind of have a soft touch. There's one that comes on the bottom that has a hand stop feature on it. But just thought I'd mention that as well. Thanks, Speedy.
Yeah, actually, someone was asking, I believe directly to G&G, are these guns LiPo ready?
It's the same thing like anything else. They'll handle them. The 11 ones are going to put more stress on it. So, have we seen people run Raiders and stuff like that on the 11 ones without an issue? Yes. Have we seen them do that for a long period of time? Yes. Would we recommend it based on the fact that we know it's going to cause more wear, faster wear over time? I mean, will we warranty it? Yes. Our warranty is 90 days. I would never expect the gun to break in 90 days, even on the 11.1, unless you're going like ridiculous with it. We would still probably recommend the 9.6s that they come with. They do peak at a little bit higher voltage, as well as like a 7.4, because it's going to peak at a higher voltage, but you're going to get the same trigger response. And the ETU makes sure the gun cycles every time, which is, I think, one of the most important things. No one likes locked up gearboxes from dead lipos or dead batteries.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, technically, since it does have the ETU built in, it is LiPo ready per se because it saves your contacts. But in general, every time you run a lipo, your internals are going to wear out faster anyways. So
that is actually the exact type of nuanced answer I was looking for, because a lot of folks don't know that running a lipo can have over time adverse effects on the internals of your gearbox. So like you guys said, the guns can handle it. However, down the road you may experience some issues.
Yeah.
And that goes with a lot of different airsoft guns. So
but the question goes, when is it, like, how, for a player, I played so much for so long, the 11-1 was worth the extra punch.
Yeah.
Even if I like burnt out a piston eventually.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I think it's worth it. I liked 11-1s. I would still run an 11-1 if I was like running electrics and stuff.
I still like running 11-1s on my AGs as well, just for at the very least the extra trigger response. So
one thing we forgot to talk about too with the SR series is the burst. We're talking about. Oh no, don't need that. Just need this. This is our new ETU, and this is you really can't see it that
a little closer.
we can take it out. Here, I'll take it out.
Yeah, there you go.
But the nice thing, instead of having a burst wizard, a chimera, whatever you might need, these will go to 3-shot burst with just holding the trigger down. So you go to semi, you squeeze off a round, and then all you have to do is squeeze it down, or hold it for 10 seconds.
10 seconds, yeah.
And it'll go to 3-round burst.
There's actually an indicator light that shows when it's ready.
It's on the
to
board,
switch modes.
yeah.
So this is.
That's the actual unit that goes inside the gearbox, and then you've got your data cable and whatnot. But this is the actual. Where's the LED? Yeah. So this is the actual board. That's how to see it. The light.
There you go.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, and that's gonna be what's gonna do that for you.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
I'd actually also like to mention something else. Now, do these tanks come on these Combat Machine Series guns?
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's a big thing for us right now. This is for our free trip to Taiwan. Anyone that's bought a come on, it's yellow. Come on, show up. Can I get closer? No, it's not gonna work.
It's the light, so yeah, you gotta like angle it. It's really tough.
Okay, it says free trip to Taiwan. You can kind of sort of see it there.
And that little foil strip underneath is very important.
Yeah, so this foil strip. Hold on, the camera is opposite, right? Okay, so that you you scratch that off. You go to our website, and there's actually a place where you can enter the code that's under there. Talk about what model it is, or just enter in what model it is, where you bought it. I think it's the date that you bought it. I have to double check. And that's actually, you can win a free trip to Taiwan.
Mm-hmm.
So for us that like to travel, it's paid by G&G. You get to see the factory, and so you're not just doing dartles the whole time. You actually get to see Taiwan and actually like tour around and meet people and so on. So that's the allure for me, definitely. And this is free. I mean, well, it's free with a G&G gun. Every time you purchase one, you get one. So
yeah, essentially, like when you open up the box, you're going to see the G&G gun, and generally this will be either floating around the box or will be attached to the trigger guard on the G&G gun. So again, you probably don't want to throw this away if you want to at least enter in that contest. And if you're at all curious about this to see if they're not like lying through their teeth, because I know they aren't, because you can go to the G&G website, and I believe you can see previous photos of folks who have won and gone to Taiwan. And they're folks from all over the world that buy the guns. Like I believe you had someone from Russia, you had someone from Germany, you had a couple folks from the U.S., and it's essentially random on who wins. So it's pretty cool. I mean, if you're going to get a G&G gun anyway, or if you're considering it, this might put you over the top, and why not take a chance? So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely worth it. And then I saw Ethan over here in the questions. Yeah, it does come with that 3-round burst. It's set into the gun out of the box. So.
Yeah.
So wait, when you pull the gun out of the box, it's already preset to 3-round burst?
No, it's set to auto.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Go to the 3-round burst.
Yeah, so when you set it to 3-round, I mean, we can get more into the ETU, but essentially you can set it back and forth from 3-round to full auto, but once you unplug the battery, it resets it to full auto.
Okay.
Every time. So.
That's good. Actually, there's a comment way earlier. I said, I believe the exact word was, that guy with a beard, I like his beard.
Oh, thanks.
Don't say thank you to me, say thank you to him, whoever he was.
Yeah.
Unacceptable. But yeah, so really cool addition to the airsoft market with these new combat machine lineups, and also, it's good to know that just about every time you buy a G&G gun, you're going to have a chance to win an awesome free trip to Taiwan. If I remember the details correctly, because I was actually really excited when this came out, so forgive me. You go to Taiwan, you check out the factory, they take you around Taiwan, you see the sights, and essentially, food, travel, lodging, all that stuff is taken care of. So it's like literally a free vacation.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah. There's some video actually on there, I think it's like 2 or 3 minute video of them kind of going around. And yeah, it's pretty cool.
And the factory looks like a fortress. Like literally a fortress.
That's the secret.
Oh, really?
It is a fortress.
Really?
No, it's, yeah.
Okay, I was like, that's
It's built inside the end of the
awesome.
Great Wall of China.
Oh wow, that's because they're on
Outside Taiwan. Yeah.
island. Yeah, wow.
It goes through the ocean. It comes up. Okay, all right.
Good recovery.
Yeah.
Not really, but we also have some other stuff here from G&G that well, all of us are uniquely familiar with. This is your targeting unit, the Met unit, correct?
So a lot of you probably aren't familiar with it because you haven't seen it yet. This is kind of a different thing. Okay, so this is our METs, and this is a multifunctional electronic target MET. Really creative name. And these, if you guys have seen our GamePod stuff, pictures.
Well, to be more specific, when G&G sponsored episode 2 of a GamePod, they brought a 5x5 Met unit to have a shooting competition, which was really entertaining to watch.
Yeah, so it's 25. It's 25 of these things. These are actually small. You can see these about the size of my hand. We're talking ones that are about like yeah, yay big.
Yeah.
And we're sitting at like, I think it's 10, 15 yards, and you engage it, and it's a competition. So it's a ton of fun. Coming from someone who's a competition shooter, I love it. I think it's hilariously fun because it's just, you get faster and faster, and people just get more into it, You start seeing different strategies from just spamming it to so on and so forth. But anyway, how these work is really simple. You hit them and they trigger. They turn red and then they turn off, whatever. With our target rack, they turn red, they stay red, then another one lights up blue. So you're playing whack-a-mole with dartles, with BBs, with Airsoft. So a lot of fun. We had some really cool times there. I think our fastest time at GamePod was like 2077.
Was that the Banana Man?
Yeah, Kevin.
Oh shoot, Kalen's song.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, he was good.
He's just a really fun guy to play Airsoft with in general. So
Kalen, if you're watching, dude.
Yeah. I mean, at our zombie game, he dressed up as a scary clown, which is scary as hell. And then he showed up as a banana and somehow snuck up on a bunch of people.
I don't doubt it, yeah.
And then he won the con. It was just funny to see him, like, waiting for the competition, like, for his turn, and just in the banana suit sitting down. But then he just worked everything. So
Hi, Vince.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that guy's great. All the guys at GamePod are fun.
Mm-hmm.
They're a fun group to play with. They're yeah.
Well, I would like to talk about the different setups you have for these, because it's not just like you hit these 5 targets, you're done. It can show up randomly, like a blue one will show up randomly, you hit it, another one will light up. There's all these different settings.
Yeah. Well, so this one alone only has like 4 settings, which is cool. They've got this one, which is like the single. They've got one where you shoot one, and it's so you can set up 2 and 2 and like cover 1 or whatever, and whoever shoots the one first is gonna light up. So this is kind of our smaller ones. This is a newer set. These aren't. I don't think these are available quite yet. We're gonna have them out soon. So if you guys want to practice with it at home, stuff like that with pistols, it's cool because we're gonna put these. Like I probably put these in my cubicle and mess with them. But the 5x5 rack Bob already mentioned, which is really cool. It's a lot of fun. It's great for competition. It has a timer and everything that stops when you hit the last one. We also have a Cqb Arena, and we haven't shown it off much yet. I know we're gonna get you guys down there at some point. I know there's a lot of stuff in the works. It's probably 25, 50 yards on either side. I'm sorry, yeah, 25 on either side. It's a giant square, and as you run through, it's an obstacle course as well as a target system. So you'll go in and you'll turn immediately to your right, and there's 3 there. There's 3 of these things, the larger ones set up. And you run through the course, you go up ladders, you jump over things, you go through tunnels, you lift up gates, and your partner has to go through. And it's done as a 2-man team. And it is timed. So we're actually trying to get you guys, e-bikers, but everyone that's big in the area to come in and run it and compete against each other. And that's the goal. But that's our competition. That's our main focus for our competition. The 5x5 is easiest for us because we can take it anywhere. Whereas the Cqb Arena will take us hours. If you remember, like the DAS event, for PTS took hours and hours, and they've had so many friends and other guys there to set that up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we can't quite do that ever because the Cqb Arena is much more complex. It's not just PVC and vinyl or
white sheeting, whatever it was.
Yeah, whatever you call it. So anyway, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna have these 5x5 racks set up at events. So if you're at GamePod, you saw it. Some of our VA events have had it. Some of the Ballot Hack, some like we're having some from your Tactical, Chicago. God, we're coming out one taxi on August. What is it? 25th. 25th, I think. Yeah. Oh, 29th. 29th. August 29th is a Saturday. We're gonna bring the MET there, the 5x5 rack. It's free to compete, so we encourage like everyone in SoCal to come and play. You have nothing to lose. It doesn't cost you anything. You're going to use our gun and our battery to make an even playing field, of course, and compete. And that's another way to go to Taiwan if you want to do the whole free vacation thing. Is we're going to try to get two-man teams. I don't know if we're choosing East and West yet. If we're going to do two fastest in general. But we're going to bring that full circle, bring everyone in, and then the two teams of two that are fastest are going to go to Taiwan and compete there.
That'd be fancy.
Yeah, and that's on November 14th, I think. Yeah, that's November 14th. That's going to be crazy. They take it very seriously over there. I mean, like we've done it. We're like, okay, cool, you're like running through and having fun, whatever. And you see these guys, and they're just in it, and they're in their clearing and very machine about it. It's cool.
I think it's interesting. I mean, seeing those shooting competitions over in Taiwan and Hong Kong. I mean, and this is just from an outsider's perspective looking in, but I assume it's because they don't really have access to real guns over there like we do over here. So shooting competitions for airsoft for them takes on a higher level of esteem. So people there take it much more seriously. Whereas, like you have experience in real firearm shooting. I don't know if I can put your Instagram out there for the interwebs.
Yeah, it's Match Grade Mitchell on Instagram. Check it out. It's rad. But I have a lot of respect for those guys in Taiwan and stuff because there's a guy named he goes by Shooters Kang that follows me or something like that, and I always noticed this guy. And I started looking into his Instagram, and those videos. They're so cool. They're out there with super tricked out high caps, and they're taking it just as seriously as I am when I'm in the shooting box. And these guys are so cool. They're out there, and they're having a ton of fun, and but yeah, no, they get in there. And the cool thing to me is to see, we have Frank, or we had, GI has Frank that does all the tricked out high capas, and he runs competition pistol with us once in a while. That's really cool. But these guys are so into it, and it's so cool to see that where some of you don't have the same freedoms we have here, doing the same competitions, running just as hard, being just as devoted to. I don't know. I think it's super cool. I want to go there and do it.
I guess what's amazing for me to see is you're right. They have the super tricked out stuff, which you don't see a lot of shooting competitions or as many as you do out there. But it's when I hear them fire their pistol, it sounds like a gun going off in full auto, and then they've got to reload it with just a second and a half. It's like mag drop, mag in, go. It's crazy.
I mean, they definitely don't have to deal with recoil and stuff like that, which is cool. But the target transition is insane. And then I guess one of the world champion guys from there came over here and competed in a real Steel Madness or a Steel Challenge, and did actually really, really well.
Really?
Yeah, I can't find his Instagram. I was looking for it.
Unacceptable.
Yeah,
unacceptable.
But it's super cool. I have the most respect for those guys because they're finding a way to do what we love here without being, having the same gun laws and stuff like that. But anyhow, that's really cool. So yeah, check that out because we're gonna be sending we're gonna send 4 people over there that have the fastest times.
Well, just to reiterate or summarize up, where can people go if they want to compete in this thing again?
Okay, so anytime you see a G&G sponsored event, it's a good bet that we do have there's a good chance that we're going to send someone out there with the 5x5 rack. A lot of our events. The next one that we've got one in Chicago for Mere Tactical. I don't know all the details on that one. We'll put that out pretty soon. Keep it on our Facebook page at G&G Armament. But for you SoCal people, which I'm assuming a lot of you guys are.
We got a lot of folks international on this.
Yeah, I saw Ireland in there too. Actually, I was like, oh, just kidding.
I'm going to shout out that gentleman once you're done talking. So
yeah. Anyway, but yeah. So for SoCal, on November 29th. I'm sorry, no, it was August 29th at Tax City. Like I said, 5x5 rack. It's going to be free to compete. Use our guns, all that stuff. That's going to be really cool. It doesn't translate exactly over to the Cqb Arena because of course you're moving and shooting and stuff like that. So it's competition steel challenge versus like a Norco match or something. It's going to be way different, or like an IPSC match. But it's so we have times for us the best time in the U.S. is 1 minute 57 seconds. Over there it's 1:21. Yeah, so they might have an advantage if they have those facilities to practice. But either way, if we see guys that have really quick target acquisition and stuff like that, then we're gonna pick them and send them. So that's kind of the biggest one. Denmark, that's incredible. Wow. Belgium, that's cool.
There's just some crazy stuff going on in the comments. What's up?
Getting big.
Miss Hits Airsoft Trigger Happy. Your shout out is approved. And thank you for watching from Northern Ireland. I believe you're the first viewer we've had from Northern Ireland. And we've got Finland and Belgium here, which is awesome that the entire countries have showed up, as well as Denmark.
I hope some of my Scottish friends are watching.
That would be awesome. Hashtag Dartles. So,
Yeah.
especially Jai. I think Jai has popped in on one of these live
Most
shows
likely.
really randomly. We're actually 2 weeks ago we were talking about the Snapchat that he personally sent you. I don't know if you.
Oh, the
which we
herniated
can't- we-
disc.
Sure, that
Yeah.
one, but we really can't go into details here.
No,
Because that
they're
was.
a fun bunch, man. Those guys took good care of me out there. Steve from Airsoft World was a super cool guy. Took us out. That guy's awesome. Oh, I don't know. Just Scotland in general is so much fun, and the people out there were so much fun, and yeah, it was super cool. Man.
Oh, and Greece
Yeah.
is watching, and North Dakota, which is in America,
Yeah.
in case some of us didn't know.
It's still there.
And Germany, yes. Still
And we didn't lose it to Canada yet.
No, not yet, not yet. Morgan McComb, your shout-out is approved, as well as Insurgency Gaming shout-out, which is approved, and Jacob Ham's shout-out, which is approved. Also, someone was really quickly asking, okay, they just showed up, what are these blue things? This is their G&G Met unit.
This is our cubicle entertainment system. This is our MET system. These are super cool. They're probably the coolest thing. Like, a lot of you guys probably saw these in their infancy. They were not super durable. Because all they are is they're a plastic base with a sensor and a rubber cap. And you shoot these, they turn colors, they make sounds. They're a lot of fun. But these things now, man, you can thrash these things. We've put 500 FPS guns on them. We've shot them with like 4.0s, I'm sure, and other stuff at some points. But these things, they have so many different modes you can go through. So, for instance, I just turned it off, but turn it on. And then I can go, let's go 1, 2, 3. So now you have different modes. So like this is like the MET rack, and you do one at a time. And this thing is possibly the most, like, I've been bugging everyone in the office with these all day. They just sit on the desk and just hit them. Yeah. So now, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
All right, Wolfblood 500, your shout-out is approved, and your Tavor is not going to go out to you for free. You're going to have to purchase that on airsoftgi.com. But thank you for trying to ask for that. That's neat too.
That was always the funniest thing working here. Was like, hey, can I have a free gun?
We are
Sure.
We are a business.
Yeah, contests and stuff. But it's like, hey,
that is true. That is true.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of contests, since we're in all this stuff too, if you go to our website, guai2.com, you're going to see we have a couple different ones. We already mentioned the trip to Taiwan, which was the biggest one we kind of wanted to get out there, because this is super cool, and this is a free vacation, and if you buy a G&G gun, you don't do this, you're silly. We have the MET. Once again, you win this, you go to Taiwan, compete, and you're only going to compete for like, 1-2 days. You're going to be touring Taiwan and having fun the rest of the time. So do that. We've also got a number of other ones going on. We're looking for a mascot. And if you guys have seen our patch recently, I've got a little dude with a gas mask and a baseball cap on, which is cool. But we're looking for something that really represents like G&G. You know, something that represents the fact that we are probably more geared toward newer players, but we still have a line that's
Creativity.
You know, like what G&G is all about. We're getting people into the game with reliable guns, with the best values out there. The fact that all of our stuff comes with like all these cool free goodies, like with the SR series coming with the rail covers and the flip up sights and all this other cool stuff. The fact that we're constantly innovating. We're looking for a mascot like that.
I'm just going to throw an idea for mascot, because like the fact that you guys are looking for mascot seems like a huge opportunity to either troll you guys or come up with some really good ideas. Are you guys into Pokemon at all?
I mean, sure.
You really look like a Pokemon player. Clearly, from
if I told you I'd never like touched Pokemon ever before.
No, I'm making a joke because
Yeah.
looking your Instagram, clearly you play Pokemon. But no,
okay.
I actually just it's funny. Someone just showed me the first 3 episodes of Pokemon ever, and which is kind of interesting because the story it's a cartoon, but it's actually a lot more brutal than you think. But have you ever seen the character, like the main character of Pokemon? He's like a little kid with like Mark is in your school. Man. You bet. I don't even remember his name. So is that really his name?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I'm not that sheltered.
Okay. Well, I was just thinking of like a mix of that kid and like if you took like 40-year-old Rambo and then convert him into a child who's really well equipped. No, not a good mascot.
Lost me at 40-year-old Rambo.
Dang it. Well, however old Rambo is, I just see like someone who like is out to play Airsoft, who's getting into it. You're looking for that newer market. Just some sort of very well equipped gentleman who is out for Airsoft. So, out of curiosity, how often do you guys play like on the reg for Airsoft, Or like what are some?
Anymore?
Well, I mean, what are some events you guys have been to recently? Because obviously, I saw you guys at BB Wars episode 2.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was fun.
Mhm.
We had a
That
good
was
time
awesome.
with that. Some interesting happenings there.
Yeah, how was I guess we can go into that story right now. Okay, so at BB Wars episode 2, Josh got shot. How can I put this? In the crotch with a rocket. Correct.
Nah, yeah.
All right, now
Got straight the boys.
and what straight in the boys or Liberty Bell as I would call it. What I thought was funny is that you were manning the minigun on the buggy at Game Pod.
Sort of.
You get attempting to. You get hit in the crotch. You're like, oh my god! Lean out
Lean
the
my
door,
arm out,
and then you're
smacked in the back of the arm
by another rocket.
by another rocket.
And then a third rocket comes in and knocks the headlight off the vehicle.
Yeah.
So definitely you got a good 1, 2, 3 hit right there.
Yeah. It was one of the only games I had played because I was watching the booth and talking to people. And I'm cool with. I enjoy talking to all you guys out there. And it was sitting. Yeah. And I was sitting out there, and Paul Kim from our retail store, if he's watching, he comes out. He goes, "Oh, I'm gonna shoot you." And I was like, "You better hope I don't shoot you first, because I'm rocking one of our new little 300 bots, which is like it's about the size of the SR7 or the SRS, sorry." And I was like, "I'm gonna get you." I'm running a lipo on it, so it's going super quick. I get out there. And like you'd see this guy like peek out of corners and gone. You're like, oh. And then who was driving? Chino, was it?
I think it's Chino.
Was it Chino driving?
No. It was the manager of GamePod, Raul.
Raul, that's it. Yeah. And he was driving the buggy, and he'd be like, "Oh, you see him? Oh, no!" Go. And then off we'd go, rolling around, just blasting fools. And then all of a sudden you see like this little flick out of a corner, just and right toward us. And we probably got hit 4 or 5 times at least, but I got hit 3 of 4, 3 of 5.
Good thing he was only there the second day because I ran in the back seat the first day.
Yeah.
That
That was painful, man. I think
Were
bruised
you-
my arm up good.
Were you getting lit up quite a bit, just even sitting in the back seat?
Not really,
Yeah.
actually. They were just kind of like running away from us.
Yeah.
So you'd see him running, and as soon as we get around the corner, you just kind of see him cowering, just. But yeah.
It's interesting, like versus Lion Claws, where if you're a turret gunner, everyone's like, "Shoot the turret gunners!"
Yeah,
and you're like,
yeah.
"You're not supposed to."
I
And
know.
GamePod was like, "Don't shoot the turret gunners," and the people were like, "Okay."
Yeah,
it was different. It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was nice. I want shot.
I think like this time we made
It's so
more.
vulnerable.
Well, yeah. There's no plating. There's really no cover. It's a superstructure on the vehicle, and that's it. And I think like at this game we put more of an effort to emphasize like, look, please don't shoot them. You're not gonna be able to put them down. The only thing you're gonna do is ruin their day. And if you want to do that, please don't be a dick. But I'm glad you guys didn't get lit up as much. However, you getting shot in the crotch with a rocket is still pretty fun.
That like began and ended my like hour of play on the second day. I was like, "Oh, cool! I'm gonna go in and ride the buggy." I was like super stoked. I haven't played carry on. I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be great." Rolled around for a little bit. Got shot. Glass rained down me from the other thing getting shot. I got a little cut. And I was like, "And I'm good."
Yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah, I saw Paul Kim before that game. I was like, Paul, you know you're going to be the most important person on your team like this next round. He's like,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I know.
You see me rock star carrying? Yeah, he had like this, like I almost want to say it was like a little like, grocery bag in front of him. He's just like,
Yeah.
"Okay."
No, it was a satchel. I mean, it almost looked like something you'd hunt with. But yeah, he would fire it, and then it didn't crack open down. It actually cracked open the side. So he would table the gun, put it down, put a new rocket in, go, and he would launch them like probably 3 in the space of 5 to 6 seconds. So
Yeah.
he was really
It's on
effective.
top of it.
I would actually wait around because there were some times where he would just lob like 5 or 10 rockets at a single structure, and I would wait around the structure for him to come back and collect them. I was like, yeah, just get in the target sites.
Just waiting.
Yeah, because he was inflicting a lot of damage.
And pain.
Yeah.
And pain.
Now I was actually rocking out an RK
104 Evo.
RK 104 Evo.
Yeah, how'd you like that?
It was really fun. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like the second day, I had to set it down for a while because I was severely out of shape. So let's just put that out there. I was working on commanding the first day, though. It was really fun to have. I like AKs in general, but I like AKs that have rails on them already set up. So just be able to pull it out of the box and go rock and roll with it.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
Yeah.
And it also had pretty good range at GamePod where, they have different FPS setups. So if you have like a 400 feet per second gun, if you go into a building, you can't shoot. If you have like a 350 feet per second gun, you can go into a building and shoot at a certain distance. So I believe mine was in that last mark of like the 400 feet per second. So it was really good at getting the ranges, and I could transition to a pistol if I needed to. So
I keep seeing Meade Montgomery over here. You keep asking for a short gun that's good for open field, dude. SRS, it's out. Go grab one. We're shipping them out like this week, dude. So get one while no one has one. It'd be cool and unique and special snowflake.
Special snow plate. Very well said. Yeah, I mean, there have actually been a number of questions like, hey, in the comments, I want to get a gun for like a really good price point that has a lot of features. I mean, we've been talking about this whole time. I mean, the SRS series or their SR series of their combat machines is something you really ought to take a look at, as well as the rest of their combat machine lineup. There was, what is that one? Can I see that gun? Okay, all right, this is good. This is the one I was going to mention earlier because I actually took this out to Tac City and I had a blast with this combat machine. It's got a really aggressive rail setup, and I believe it comes with these rail covers. Isn't that correct?
Yeah. So the cool thing about once again, so like when I was talking about free items, the market or a CM18 Mod 1, Mark 18 Mod 1 for those of you that are all like NSW nerds and stuff. They come with the flip sights, which are like the Diamond Tactical stuff. It's got the same shape to it, whatever. And then you've got the rail covers. These all come with it. And so you've got an updated looking gun already. It looks rad. That performs really well. Yeah, no, these guns, I mean, they're the same combat machines you know and love. The same.
And they come in a two-tone. There's also a black with tan, so everything.
I think that actually made me happy because when we got them in, like I personally, I love two-tone guns, and the fact that both of them out of the box were like that just makes it just kind of ups the cool factor for folks that want something affordable. So that's really cool, and I'm a big fan of these in particular.
GEC system. Hey, Brandon Stevenson, GEC system. Hold on, man. We will release more information about that later this year. Not ready to talk about it just yet, but hold on, it's coming. It's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And then actually, I want to talk about this.
I was hoping you would.
Yeah, so I kind of forgot about it until you pulled the gun up.
Unacceptable.
Which is, I know, because it's actually really cool.
Quietly judging.
Quietly.
Not that quietly. I mean, live.
Not quite enough.
Yes.
Okay, so, all right, so this is our MIT system. And not to be confused with the MET, which is these fancy bulbs over here. This is cool. If any of you guys are familiar with the Lonex Chrono, which I know a lot of people won't be because it's so old and the design was very unique. Lonex did, I'm sorry, Lalax, no, yeah, Lalax, not Lonex, Lalax did a design a long time ago under one of their labels to do a chrono that was a console and it attached to a barrel piece, and the barrel piece would screw on. You would connect like almost like a telephone wire to it, and it would go plug in, and you'd rock that on your gun, or you could take it off chrono, whatever. And nice because it was consistent, because it stayed on the end of the gun, and so on and so forth. And then a lot of you guys are probably familiar with the X-Core Tech variant, which is similar to this, but it's not an all-in-one piece. You have to have different pieces to run it. I don't know. Plastic feels kind of cheap to me. That's me. But anyway, this is ours. This is the MIT. It's full metal, which is rad. It's got this really cool front end, which is rad. If you want to like poke people with it, it's not sharp, so go ahead.
It just looks very aggressive and cool.
There you go. The biggest thing with this is it's a tracer, it's a chrono, it's a shot counter, and it's an RPS meter counter. Rate of fire.
Yeah, rounds per second, rate of fire. Yeah.
So this is cool. I mean, it works really simply. You have an LCD screen there. There you go. And you can pan through the different modes. That's like shots and different stuff like that. But as I go through, you can activate different things. And I don't know if you can see it. There's like little icons at the top that are flashing there. Each one of those is going to be a different mode. And we've released more stuff about this. We're actually sending them out now. A couple of different vendors have them. They're kind of this is something that's been in the works for some time. But the chronograph actually works really quite well, and it's consistent because it stays on the end of the gun. The shot counter and stuff like that. You don't ever have to take this off the gun either. So this is polycarb. It's not going to get shot out. It's not going to get damaged. It's strong enough you don't have to worry about that.
Huh.
Yeah. So that's kind of nice. People are like, oh, well, there's a little screen. It's going to get shot out.
That was my first guess, too. So that's nice you guys took designed ahead for that eventuality.
Exactly. So. The other cool thing with this is it's not out yet. Once again, it's being tested in Taiwan, and they actually just did a competition with it over there. This goes into a system that's a lot like the Miles system for the military.
Yeah.
This version does not have it. It's got the crown at the end, so there'd normally be a laser here. But how it's going to work when it's completely done, and we actually have a lot of people that are already interested in it. Obviously, law enforcement. A couple of our guys out there are like, dude, we really want this because it's going to take range out farther. It's going to be more of a mil-sim thing. If you've got long range, like for LC, this would be cool. That's one element we got to talk about. LC was fun. LC was good fun. But anyway, yeah. So this is going to work with a helmet and a vest and like what looks like an MS-2000 strobe.
Why don't we at least tell people like what it's replacing? Because most people don't understand what Miles gear is.
Right. Okay. My bad.
You're mistaken, indeed.
Okay, think like really crazy laser tag. The Miles system is a military training system. You wear a ridiculous vest and a ridiculous thing on your head, on your helmet, and you run around and you shoot with blanks, and it feeds into a system that essentially works like laser tag. The MIT system is going to be a much better version for law enforcement, for local agencies, for anyone who just wants to play airsoft at like a different level. If you want to, like more realistic, so it goes further. This is going to have a PEC box that's going to come with it, and this
It's actually the one that's on that gun.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
It actually comes with a cable that runs
There you go.
into the back of that, so they work in conjunction with each other.
So this is going to have, this is just a pointing laser here. The final version may have it up here, but I think it's going to be here because you want to keep it close to the muzzle as you can.
Absolutely.
But the cool thing about it is there's the other part of this set when it's done is going to be a vest and a helmet. Molle vest, much like the Condor stuff back here, whatever. And a helmet that's, I believe it's modeled after a Pasket or a Mitch helmet, one of the older, well, not older, but one of the still very popular styles out there for law enforcement. And they've got these panels on them, and when the panels get hit by the lasers, they'll activate, and it's, you know, you're dead or whatever. Like I said, we haven't seen the final version yet, so we're still getting details. But that's going to be super cool, and that's kind of something we're really looking forward to.
I think that's going to be really interesting because, I mean, I just find things interesting that change the way people play or change the game itself.
Yeah.
And to bring Airsoft, I mean, even if it would take out the BB aspect, but to bring it into a more realistic range would be really interesting.
Right, and let's say Airsoft range is what, maybe 80 to 100 meters at very most, right? Like the Mantis right hook, for those of you guys who know it, that was the biggest thing. I was like, oh, it goes to 100 yards. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And it's still, to this day, you know, 100 yards is still pretty crazy. Like Aaron's Customs here, they were, I mean, some of them were pretty much right out there. I remember correctly, like that sniper rifle built that Josh used at, was it Irene years ago?
Yeah, that was, it was just fun to see people wave at us thinking they're so far out of range, and then Josh would just dome them.
Yeah,
So,
not me, Josh, other Josh.
yes.
That was, I mean, so, you know, you have that, but this is supposed to take it out to, supposed to take it to like 150 meters. So 100 yards, 300 feet, 100 meters, 330 feet-ish, 150 meters. So you not only got, if you have a gun that shoots far, cool, but if you have a gun that shoots less or whatever, you don't necessarily need to have a super upgraded gun to use one of these and still be extremely competitive in what this is going to be.
So essentially 500 plus feet.
100, yeah,
Math is correct.
Math, I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is gonna be super cool. But like I said, Lion Claws would be rad with these.
Yeah, tell us about you guys. Sounded like you had a really fun time with Lion Claws. What happened?
So LC was me and Eric and Jordan, who's at the office. That was, I don't know, that was, well, we lost you like 3 times.
Yeah, we got separated a lot, but we always end up finding each other.
Yeah.
After a little bit after respawning, but yeah, I mean, we started out by like basically just like flanking the whole other team. Everybody kind of went this way, and the 3 of us went all the way around this way.
Yeah.
Nice.
They were just still kind of like finding out where they were and where they were going to go, and we were already like
chilling
shooting
out
them,
buildings.
So.
That's dope.
It was funny.
Then we got caught upstairs in the building.
And all died.
With just
like,
3 of us. It was like 3 on 20, so.
Yeah,
hey,
we attacked the Russian embassy, and they were like, "Oh, there's no one else attacking us at this point, so we'll just send everybody after them."
Jeez,
That was cool.
That definitely does. I mean, it's kind of cool to get caught up in those last stand situations where you're just, balls.
It wasn't last stand. It was they were just shooting at us while we tried to pick them off and failed.
Oh, okay.
It was
well, that's not
last
as cool as I
stand makes it
expected.
sound cool because like last stand was like a couple years ago when we were up in the second building. We had to throw a toilet down the stairs and break down the stairs. You know?
I wasn't there for that.
Oh.
But man,
Yeah. So we had pulled the toilet out.
that sounds like essentially what you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty
Anyway.
self-descriptive.
Anyway.
Wait, did you throw the whole toilet?
Yeah, my brother and our teammate Chris picked it up out of the ground and threw it down the stairs. They're like, oh, they're gonna come up the stairs. Let's throw a toilet in there. And they didn't expect it to break, and they got down there and broke it. And it's still there. It's last year. We went and found it, and like we wrote "V3 never forgets" in the dust.
And no one was coming up the stairs exactly when you threw it, right?
No, we blew the Vuvuzuela.
Okay.
Everyone in the immediate area was like, "Oh, let's go shoot those guys," and then they threw the toilet down the stairs. We found out later, like, "Why is there a toilet on the stairs?"
I heard stories about the vuvuzelas from a multitude of other people who were like, yeah, these damn guys with their vuvuzelas were just like making a huge racket and whatnot. And I saw a video from you guys who y'all look like you're having one hell of a good time.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it was a good time. But this year was so different, but it was still good. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Got cornered a lot.
Yeah, we're kind of like rogue guys that just kind of like you know, not that we don't follow commands and stuff, but like, you know, in the end, you're out there to kind of like, you know, shoot and have fun. I mean, some people take it in the perspective of like milsim. Some people just want to go out and have fun, but I guess we're kind of tweeners. I don't know.
Tweeners. Real quick, Casey Reese, your shout out is approved. Comedy short films, your shout out is approved. And Old Soldier Airsoft, your shout out is approved. All right. Zane Case, your shout out is approved. And hi, Angry Maple. It's good to see you again. That's a gentleman from Texas. He actually asked me. So, yeah.
I still remember that picture you have of jumping and like that kid.
Oh, that
guy's going after you with the sword, just like down.
I got lucky. That's like a classic fencing move that I feel like only I do. I call that the Dolphin Technique of just up and boop. But I lucked out. I actually ran into that gentleman again. I don't know if you saw that photo. But there's that. I think that same gentleman later in the day, I had another battle against him, and he just walloped me right in the nuts. And there's a video on GITV Uncut that says it's Bob gets hit in the nuts, and like literally like we're fencing, and then I get tapped, and I slow down. I'm like, hey, please don't hit me there.
Yeah, hold up, not party foul.
That'll ruin your day getting hit in the Liberty Bell, whether it's by airsoft or a foam sword.
So you have any questions over here?
I don't think we have so many questions as opposed to shout out requests. Spectrum Airsoft. What's up?
Everybody likes shoutouts.
Spectrum Airsoft, your shout out is approved. German shout out. Sam Bush in Germany, your shout out is approved. All right.
Right on.
Yes, indeed. If you guys have any questions, we're actually a little bit over time, so we may either just do a few more shout outs, or if there are any other questions we can answer, we'll get to those.
If I can, I want to just talk about this real quick.
And you cannot.
Unit. Cannot?
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, no, tell us about it.
Anyways, it was already featured a lot in the new combat machines. The actual electronic trigger unit. I showed you guys an up close picture. This will be available soon, and it's basically a drop-in kit for any version 2 standard gearbox. I know some other reviewers out there have been doing testing on them. They seem to fit most gearboxes, so it shouldn't be an issue. But it's all going to come together as far as the MOSFET and the unit itself. This is the MOSFET, the unit, and of course it comes with the wiring as well, which is important. One more important feature that's going to come with this as well is kind of somewhat a modified selector plate. There's a little nub that's been cut off right here just because of the actual functioning of the ETU. It just has to do with the actual cutoff lever activating this little lever here, but if you can see right here, that's the actual little button right there. Kind of hard to see, but the trigger response is great. No contacts involved, nothing like that, just the trigger and a trigger spring. It has to work with this MOSFET exclusively, so it will be sold as a package. So it's not compatible by itself or with other MOSFETs.
Okay, so it's a total package deal then.
Yes.
It also sounds fancier that way.
Yeah, and it does work with front wired guns as well. It has the channels to go to the rear, but our tech and I over at G&G, we found out that you can run the wires for the front here for front wire guns.
Oh, that's nice. So it's always a plus to have different options.
Yeah. Somebody asked if we could put in a GK5C, which is front wired, and it will work on those guns.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
that's nice. All right, shout out to Denmark. Your shout out is approved, and New Mexico, whose shout out is likewise approved. Guys. Yeah, that's it. You know that Breaking Bad was originally scheduled to be in my hometown of Bakersfield.
Yeah, I read about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of meth there.
That series is terrible.
But the state taxes.
Yeah, but they moved it because of
something about they had something to do with like California's like how much money they asked to like do the filming and stuff.
Well, no, essentially, I mean, there were a lot of tax incentives that get cut off by a certain point in California. If you don't apply for them by a certain point of the year, there's no more left. And New Mexico and a lot of other states make it really competitive and take a lot of business from California because capitalism.
Yeah.
So, and you didn't like this series?
I thought it was awful.
You're a bad person.
I've been trying to talk to them about that.
Gosh. Well, I mean,
Game of Thrones is great.
Game of Thrones is great. However, what I don't like about Game of Thrones is I've read all the books, and there's some serious stuff that they changed that...
No, but you know why they did that? Because they wanted it to be different.
Well, they wanted it to be interesting to watch the TV show, but it's like some stuff where I'm like... It's like already a lot of people have something against George R.R. Martin because like he just murders people wholesale, but gosh, I just don't like how he changed stuff. Anyway, we're getting... What's that?
It's a feature of the show, not a problem.
Have you heard about why he's not on Twitter?
I can imagine.
Because he already killed all 144 characters.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
That
watch the show. I don't.
unacceptable. All right, guys. Well, for those of you who are under 18, don't check out Game of Thrones. But yeah, for those of you who can, I highly suggest it. And I know these guys agree with me as well, except for Eric here.
But check out G&G Armament on Facebook, GG Armament on Instagram, because that's more important and cooler.
Absolutely. Check out their Instagram, their Facebook. Also, check out their website, which is, I believe, guay2.com.
Yeah, guay2.com.
GUAY.
That's technically the Taiwan side. We are starting our own, and we will announce that when we're good and ready. The name is not all that imaginative, so I'm sure someone will find it now and then, But we are starting our own. It's a lot. If you guys have been on the Taiwan website, it's all right. It's just a little hard to navigate here and there.
It's all right. I would suggest it mainly for the reason for folks that are curious about winning a trip to Taiwan. You can see like previous photos from those trips. It's really cool for those of you who don't know what Taiwan looks like and how awesome of a fortress their facility is.
And real quick before we go, 2 contests that totally slipped my mind till now. If you guys have seen our catalog, if you guys have seen our website, you've seen all the photos of people doing cool stuff with all the guns. That as well as a make your own video contest. So show yourself and the record yourself. There's like a video contest too. 2 more contests, 2 more prizes. I don't believe those have trips involved, but they're 2 more big contests for us. If you guys want to be featured in the G&G magazine on our social media, in our catalog, so everyone to see. That's the way to do it. That's going to get you on there. There's cash prizes. Check it out on the website, y2.com. All the details are there.
I highly agree.
Shout out to my wife and kids. I'd be wrong if I didn't say that.
That is a very smart man. Very smart man. Final shout out to Arizona and Bakersfield. Your shout out is approved. And I also want to thank Eric for coming on to our show, as well as Josh here for gracing us with his presence. And thank you for G&G Armament for bringing all this cool stuff and bringing some cool new products to the market. Once again, check them out on Facebook and Instagram, and look for them at any different Airsoft events around the country where you can test your skills with their target unit, their MET unit. Once again, I'm Bob the X-Man Hilburn, and this has been the GITV Live Show. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.